There we go. Okay. Oh, good morning. Monday. I'm here. All right. Do not disturb is on. I'm just kind of, I don't know if I need to be that. I like to be zoomed in. I want y'all to see my face, my skin. I was in the sun and it bleached some of my hair, so I always look like I'm balding, but I have hair here, I swear. But hi, it's been a couple weeks. I've been off traveling. My husband did the Boston Marathon and he did amazing. That man looked legit. Like, he looked great. And he PR'd, which is awesome. Best time ever. And he wasn't feeling too great because he turned 40 this year and he's not doing well with that. Okay. So we're going to do our makeup today. I'm not sure how we want to do this. I'm going to start with my eyes like I always do because I don't like my makeup. I feel like that just might be a tutorial, but I want to show where I do have my face already on when I start my tutorial and show the difference and do my eye makeup and then do the other half of the face just to show how clean it is to do your face makeup after. Oh, especially... This is one of the things. Oh, good morning. Hello, Alice. Yeah, I'm seeing my people. Hello, Brandy. Happy Monday. But Oak. I love the eyeshadow Oak. But when that color falls out, it is really cool toned. And so it really can make your under eyes look deep set, more mature. It can really bump you into a, if you do your eye makeup after your makeup. It's a hard color because it does resemble a shadow really well, so it accentuates the fine lines, it deepens, and all the things. Okay, let's see. Hello, Roseanne. How are you? I love this. Okay, so hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, makeup artist. I don't know, not a makeup artist. I don't like even saying that. I think it's false advertising. So Saint did come out with some new products. I'm able to talk about them. I wasn't able. Jessie, hello. There's some new products that they came out with, and when I was doing my Monday lives before all my trips, I wasn't able to talk about them, but I have them now. They came out with lip tints. There's 5 of them. I have all of them. We've got Pinky. Pinky is my favorite. That's the color right there. It's very similar to my nail color. It's very sheer. This is probably the sheerest of all of the colors. And then there is Jam. Let's find that little, you can barely even tell. It's right there. It's dark, does go on sheer. These do stain. These 4 do stain. Cherry, which is a nice, they're all shade. After Jam, Jam I feel like is on its own, but then you get into Cherry, Berry, and Poppy, and they're all shades of pink. I'm trying to show them here. They're all different shades of pink, and I just feel like, Berry and Poppy are pretty similar. I do not use Rare Beauty. I'm not sure what Rare Beauty is. I'll have to look it up. Don't even know what it is. But I really like to focus on I've tried other makeups, and I was actually thinking that today for my face, we would talk about, not everybody wants to use same makeup. That's okay. Everybody likes cream makeups right now. They're really great for when you have changing skin, mature skin. Cream makeups are just really a good product for your skin. Saint is the most pigmented, and for somebody like me who has, I get hormonal breakouts, and then I have scarring, I have hyperpigmentation. So when you're dealing with that, I like a cream makeup, but I want a cream makeup that's going to give me coverage. There's no other cream makeup that has an 80% pigmentation like Saint. So Saint is 100% customizable. It's good. It fits in a pretty palette. They have so many different size palettes. It's good. And it's a way of separating your powders from your creams, but also keeping it in one place so you don't have different palettes all over the place. All right, that being said, I know a lot of people love their, do I use Charlotte Tilbury? Yes, I do. I was actually just getting ready to talk about that. It's not rude. Not rude at all. It's a good makeup product, but I won't get it if it's not good. Okay, traditional foundation is hard to come by. Good traditional foundation. And I think it really comes into what's your skin type. Whereas, are you oily? Are you dry? Are you balanced? How mature are you? If you have maturing skin, if you have large pores and you're getting the fine lines, I just think that the makeup you used to use in your 20s and your 30s, I am 44, I'm gonna be 45 this year, so the makeup from my 20s doesn't work for me now. And that was one of the things where I was like, what's wrong with my makeup? Did they change the form? And it was just, it wasn't the makeup changing, it was me. You might get it for your mom. Okay, so let's see here. If you have, this is me giving an opinion, and I'm gonna really blanket this out. If you have dry skin or mature skin, okay, where you have a lot of skin texture from maturity, a lot of people get it on their chin, around their mouth, of course, in this area here. A mattifying 24-hour wear isn't gonna be your best friend. There are things you can do to help it, and that's kind of why I like creams, is because you can use these wonderful stay all days. They're gonna crack, they're gonna gather, you can't reset it, you can't move it back. I don't like that, and that's what makes the skin look more mature and more dry when you're doing that. So finding a foundation, if you don't wanna do a cream, you want something that's gonna have finish. And that's where it's, if you're using Estee Lauder, if you're using Catrice, what's another mattifying one out there? If you're using those, they're gonna look dry, they're gonna make your skin look dry, they're gonna make it look more mature, but you can go and get balms. Honest Company has a really good one. A lot of people use the Aquaphors, and you can go over those drier areas and put this on to give that dewy finish. But that's kind of why I like Saint, because you get maximum coverage, you can reset it, you can't, so if you get movement around areas, you can press it back out. Can't do that with those setting ones, but I want skincare in my makeup if I'm gonna use traditional. So I use Beauty Society, it is another MLM, but it is a really good dewy finish. They have the Perfect 10. It's oil-free, age-reversing foundation, so it has skincare in it. That doesn't replace your skincare, but it does have a stay all day, less transfer than creams. Your cream makeups, they don't set, they're going to transfer. Makeup, not magic. It will transfer easier than a traditional. So my opinion is, and I think I'm gonna do traditional makeup with creams. You want to set this with purpose. And so I think that's what we're gonna end up talking about today. I never know where my lives are gonna go, but then they go somewhere. Okay. But another really good one, and I don't know very many, I haven't found very many that I can really stand behind, Charlotte Tilbury's Beautiful Skin Foundation. This one is a goodie. I do really like this one. So my two top picks for liquid traditional makeup would be Perfect 10 by Beauty Society. I sell it, I can color match you, no problem. Or Charlotte Tilbury. I recommend going in person to Sephora or Ulta and getting personally color matched. It's really hard to color match on these, and I'm glad I went in and got personally color matched for this guy. But these are my two top picks for traditional foundations, Beauty Society or Charlotte Tilbury. I do believe that this one is easier to come by, especially if you are global. But anytime you're using a traditional makeup, typically you're gonna set it. Typically you're gonna overset it because baking is a thing. I don't know if it's as much of a thing, but to have to go in and add dew, these ones already have kind of that dewy finish into it. I like, if you're still not wanting to do like Saint, I like Saint contours because they stay where you put them. They have that 80% pigmentation. I like them, but Milk has a really good contour stick. I don't know if they have blushes. This is a little itty bitty guy, and I think it was like $34. That's tiny. You can get a Saint one with more pigmentation for $16. So just to think about that. But I like topping any of my foundations with creams. Cream contours, cream blushes, cream bronzers, no powder. Powder is going to thicken your makeup. It's gonna give it that matte finish. It's gonna give that mature look. You're gonna look dry. You don't wanna look dry. Nobody wants to look dry. I've used Merit. I find it to be more greasy. Same with OG. Dibs, I've got Dibs here. They have contour sticks. They're all very warm. I wish you could customize and just pick which end you want and click it in. That would be really nice, Dibs. Their pigmentation is so low. on these contours and these blushes. And when you have, I have stuff. So I have acne scarring. I used to get really bad cystic acne in my late 20s and 30s. Didn't know that could happen, but it can. And so I have scarring here. So my blushes, I need pigmentation. I need extra coverage, but I don't want powder. So for me, Dibs was out for me. Beauty Society does have contours. I do like them. I still think Saints Creams and Milk is a very good option. Concealers. I'm not a Tarte fan. Let's see. Okay, but for concealers, I'm very picky on concealers because I like Tarte. Okay. NARS, okay. You do have to prep with a balm if you're gonna do any kind of concealer that's really thick and mattifying like those. Those ones crepe and they wear thin throughout the day. But if you don't want that chalky, crepey finish that concealers can give, one, don't go so light, but prep with some kind of a balm. Saint has a great balm. That's what I use. Or you can get the Aquaphor sticks. Those are also really good. But, and I know I'm talking a lot about Beauty Society, but they have an incognito, and this one has anti-aging in it also. So if you can get stuff that has skincare infused, it's a helper, but I like this one more than I like Tarte. I can color match you. I use shade 2, but again, anytime you're using a concealer and you are getting more mature with areas, don't go too light or just go close to your skin tone. It's okay. You could always grab a lighter eyeshadow with it matte or shimmer and just pop it in those areas where you want brightness and have a touch of brightness rather than a bright area, because it can again make you look more mature. Okay, let's dig into the makeup. Get a good eyeshadow primer. I use Singen's. I have a link for it in the description. We're gonna dig into our eyeshadow. I'm pretty casual today. Got my favorite burger joint on, and this weekend we did some gardening and some home projects. So I use Singen's Shadow Sense Color is Candlelight. There is a link. And I use a BK Beauty brush. BK Beauty brushes are awesome. But this is the 203 brush. The number's wiped off, but here's the shape 203 brush. There is a link for this brush also. I like having a separate brush that's just for prepping. This is going to spread out my primer, and then this is going to add my base. So I always set my primer, but having a nice blank canvas. I have a lot of discoloration on my eye. Let's zoom in here and you can kind of see. So now I've just given myself a nice blank canvas. I have a lot of, it's been a long weekend, but I use eyelash serum, which gives lid discoloration. I also have veins, and so I like a nice concentrated primer, but this stuff will not, you will not crease all day, all night. If you go to dinners in the evening, I think that's a big East Coast thing. I'm gonna assume it's an East Coast thing. Your eyeshadow won't crease. It's really great. All right, I'm gonna go in. This is my Boston travel palette that I made. Ooh, we don't need to zoom out that much. My room is a disaster in here. All the holidays, all the garbage, all the blah. Anyways, this is what I traveled with right here. But I'm gonna go in. These are some of my top prep lid colors. I'm gonna go into this one. It's Paris. It's a nice pink. And then this is Lily, and then Cupcake. And then I'm just gonna press this all over my lid from lash to brow. And I concentrate it where I get the most creasing, but a powder blends best on powders. Okay, so we're gonna pop that down and up and bring this up. There we go. This just gives me a nice blank place to start. I'm gonna go into Drift. It is one of my favorites, and I'm gonna pop that up on the brow bone, and then I'm done with this brush. I don't like to add any deep colors to this brush because then it's just not good for prepping. All right, so let's grab an eyeshadow brush. What kind do I want to use today? BK Beauty has a really great, I like the Small Eyes collection because I don't even think it's a real Small Eyes collection, but they do have some good options. You get this little eye shader brush with it. You will get the 203 brush. You get a fluffy brush and a small brush, and then this whittle angle brush. It's a good collection. I think it runs about $80. Genuinely, if you're looking for a brush set, it's a good option. Saints eyeshadow brushes to me are awesome. Bomb.com. because they're all double-ended. So you can get that little eye shader brush, but it's a little smaller, so it does a little bit more. Then you have this little square end right here, really good for getting into the tiny little bits of your face. All right, let's find a brush that I want to use. But again, doing your eyeshadow first, it'll be a game changer for you, I promise. All right, cleaning it off. I'm just gonna do something really simple, really basic. I'm gonna go into Sedona. It is one of my favorites, and it's kind of, I'm gonna do 2 colors. So I got Sedona on. Now, from the front, I'm not hooded, but I'm not gonna move anything. So just watch, nothing move, but watch things change. So when I'm looking forward and I turn my head, as I continue to turn, this is drooping. It just doesn't look like it is from the front. I'm hooded adjacent. So to hide this droop, we're gonna bring Sedona up here, outside of that droop, and then push it over. And I'm gonna use a fluffy brush, hold it mid-brush. If you hold it down here, you're gonna put too much pressure on, it can make a glob. You could even hold it down here and have a really light hand on this. Good morning, Debbie. All right, and I'm just gonna swirl this around, but this is gonna help with that heavy droop. So if you have hooded eyes, you're gonna keep it up high. Grabbing just a little bit more, and I just keep this, you have all this real estate up here, don't waste it. Don't waste it, and just keep that up high. This is where you want to, especially if you're hooded or you have mature eyes, you want to keep this up top. And if you have a lot of movement, just tap it. All right. I knew I'd get one today. It's been a couple weeks. I knew I'd get somebody that says I'm pretty without makeup. I didn't say I was ugly. Anybody who wears makeup, you are beautiful with it. You are beautiful without it. Makeup is an extension of who we are and how we feel are most comfortable. And I'm always going to say that every time somebody comes on here. I know it's with the best intentions, but it's inadvertently backhanded. I feel great without makeup. I feel my best in makeup. And so I wear makeup how I feel best. And that's any woman out there. But thank you if you were meaning to be nice. Okay, so we're gonna take that fluffy brush, same thing over here. I have that heavy droop. We're just gonna pop this up, but it just helps hide it just a little bit. And if you have mature eyes, this is gonna make them look more open. It's gonna make them look more open. And I'm not going crazy today. I'm gardening today. I got a new little patio built by me and my husband. We spent all weekend building this little patio just to put our garden table on it because we don't do in-ground. Too many wildlife and bugs, and I prefer a garden table. And I'm 44, I don't want to bend over. Anyways, we did the garden table. So today the kids are at school, I get to load in all the dirt, and I get to just geek out on my little garden table, and I'm excited about it. So this laundry gardening is the name of my game today. All right, so just keeping this up high. This is a light subtle. So this is Sedona. It's a bit warm, and it's really nice. It goes really well with spring. Getting some color. I got a little bit of color this weekend, but it's so nice. All right, so we're just popping that on, and already looks just a skosh better. And then I'm gonna go into a shimmer. So I put Drift on my brow bone, and I did that with a brush. Any way you apply this, there's different ways to apply eyeshadows, and you can make any eyeshadow look like multiple shades of that. You don't have to go buy a chocolates palette that has 12 shades of brown. You can take this color and you can put it on with a nice light brush. Let's do this with the arm. So we're gonna take Sedona, and you can put that on with a brush and make it nice and light, okay? Then you can flip it to a more dense brush, okay? And you can deepen it a little bit more, okay? You can make it a little bit deeper with a denser brush. Sorry, itchy nose. Or you can use your finger. You can deepen it more. Okay, same color, 3 kinds of shades so far. You could, let's grab a brush I don't use very often. We're gonna grab this brush. We're gonna get it wet with setting spray. I prefer setting spray over water because it sets. Take that same Sedona shade, get it wet, and make it another shade of brown. So instead of going and buying a chocolates palette, go get one shade of brown, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 shades, and it's one color. I just like showing that to people because you can save so much money if you just apply your eyeshadow in a different way to get a different shade. Sedona is such a beautiful color. I love it so, so much. Okay. All right. So we're going to go into Drift again, and I'm going to use my finger, just like I was showing you. You can make it deeper, and it punches it up just a little bit more. And I'm going to grab this right here, and I'm just going to tap this across. I want it to be light, but I want it to have some pop. I like a bright eyelid, and this is Drift. I put it on my brow, super light, not nearly as punchy. And then I'm just going to tap it. If I were to press and smear, it could really punch it up. You could also take those balms I've been talking about all morning, and you could press that on with your finger and then top a shimmer on top, and it gives it a little more punch. All right, let's add some eyeliner if I can find all my stuff. I'm going to use 2 eyeliners. Stila Stay All Day. Don't get the magic wand, just get the one-ended one. That's all you need. I made a boo-boo and I'm too lazy to return. Okay? Okay, so so this comment here saying that they don't like how they look without makeup. Having a simple makeup makes a huge difference, but I will say there is a power in embracing the fact that your makeup doesn't make you pretty. Your makeup takes what's already there and enhances it to make you feel confident. You're the same with or without, but your makeup is just an extension of who you are and how you feel your best. But what you're using with your makeup to enhance is already there before the makeup's on. So understand you are beautiful. How you want to walk out your door is up to you. But mindset. Stop saying that to yourself. I had to learn that one too. Okay, we're gonna grab a little mirror and I'm gonna waterline. I like waterlining. I think it makes my lashes look a bit fuller. And I have really thin lashes. I've been using the Babe Lash Serum, and I don't feel like it gives me fullness, but I do feel like it gives me extra length. And so I just do little tips and tricks to make my lashes look fuller than they are. And one of the things I do is I really like to waterline. And on the outer quarter here, I press it into my lashes. This is gonna give the illusion that my lashes are thicker than they are. And then I'm gonna take my liquid here. And this is a really beautiful fine tip. And we're gonna zoom in. And this is where, if you have mature eyes, maturing eyes, hooded eyes, droopy eyes, because I'm not allowed to say that I'm hooded. Everybody comes at me and is like, you're not hooded. And it's like, okay. I'm gonna take this little end and I'm gonna go right here on this inner edge, and we're just gonna add a little dash on the edge into the lash line. That little tiny thing is gonna give the illusion when we're done that the eyeliner goes all the way across. It's gonna extend the lash line, and it's gonna give the illusion of fuller lashes. So having a tiny little felt tip. I don't like the liquid liners that have the loosey-goosey brush because they get too out of hand too fast. So you want something pretty stiff. This one has a nice little felt tip. Okay, we're gonna go in about a quarter of the way in, and I'm gonna grab to the lash line, and I'm gonna pull out and up and pop off the lashes. And I'm just going out and up, and then I'm gonna stop above the corner. It's tiny, but mighty. You don't need a drastic eyeliner. We don't. I'm a basic mom. I'm 44. I just go to the grocery store and I sit at my garden table. But when I walk by a mirror, I want to feel good. So even on my garden days, I do my makeup. Even by the pool, I want to feel my best. And the way I feel my best is in some makeup. Some days it's more bold than others, but that's up to me. So we're going to take this and we're going to go to that corner of the eye at the edge of the lashes, and we're going to go up and meet that corner. Okay, and you see that little gap? Then we can go in and color it in. Color it in with the tip. And if you want to make it a little more wingy, make it a little more wingy. Tiny but mighty. And what this did is it punched up my eye, gave my eye a little eye lift just by adding that little tiny bit. Okay, so we're going into that quarter, and then we're going to go out and up. Because we always tilt our head a little when we're doing our eyeliner, and then when we rest our face, it goes down. So we're going out and upward until the end of the lashes, or the outer corner, and then we go up, 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 meet and wing, and then fill it in. If you try to live right next to that lash line, it's going to be a bit jumbly. So if you draw that line first, you're good. And believe me, these are sisters, not twins. So this side's thicker, so now I'm going to go in and just going to punch this side up to match. Because they shouldn't look like cousins. They should look like sisters. That's about as good as I get. Okay, grabbing mascara. I'm using Bare Minerals Maximus. I prefer Lashtopia, but this is what I have because they were out of stock. Okay. I like a good chunky mascara wand. And we're going to build at the base, and we're going to work our way up. Saint does have, I use Saint a lot. That's my eyeshadows. I like that you can customize an eyeshadow palette. So while you may not want maybe the creams, customizing an eyeshadow palette to be exactly what you want, you really can't get anywhere else, and then you could just slowly build. Okay, so where I would say is start as Sedona and Drift, and then we just start growing from there and add Lullaby and add some mauves, add some whatevers. Okay, we're gonna go in and we're just building at the base, giving the illusion of thick lashes by building up chunky mascara at the base. Don't worry about the tips of your lashes. We're just building up a base. Just like that. And so it gives that illusion that my eyeliner is going all the way across because I've built up the base by wiggling, lift, wiggling, lift. Okay, and then you can go in and just flick the tips and build up a little bit of length. I don't do the fake lashes unless I absolutely have to. And I did for 2 weeks because I had to go to Boston. And then I went to Arizona. And Arizona was so nice. I got a good sunburn, my base burn, and it was so good. Okay, so building at this base, my right side has more lashes than my left. That's just how it goes, I guess. All right, so we're just building and lifting, getting that all dolled up, getting some lower lash line on. You want to do your eyes last, if you get, or first. And then if you fall out, if it comes down and falls out, it's gonna make your under eyes look dark. That's why it looks dark over here. That's just makeup. And so we're able to clean that up once all of our eye makeup's on, and never decide if your makeup is too light, too dark until the rest of your makeup is on. I really like to build up a chunk. But look at that. My eyes have a little more lift. It's all, that's the name of the game, lift. Lift our butts, lift our boobs, lift our eyes. All right. Let's talk about traditional makeup. Get a good primer. I'm going to use Milk Hydro Grip. I like it this much. I don't need to be quite as zoomed in anymore. But I've been outside in the elements and I am paying for it. I don't even have allergies, but I think I'm getting them. All right, so we're going to put this on. I have rosacea coming in. I have my acne scarring. I don't do chemical peels. I don't freeze my forehead yet. I really want to though. I did, full disclosure, I don't do lip filler, but I did do a lip flip. The only thing is, spitting out my toothpaste just feels a little weird now. I did it 3 weeks ago. Maybe? I don't know. The only thing it does is it makes my smile smile. I don't know what I was expecting, but I did want to try it, you know? Why not? Curiosity didn't kill the cat. And so I enjoyed it. It did make me want to try my forehead. I don't want to do filler. I heard it hurts more. And I don't like to hurt. I did get my ear pierced while I was in Arizona. Like, this is me being as edgy as possible. I had to take my other earrings out because this one wasn't liking the other earrings, and this one's not loving me so much. But I did, all of us on this bachelorette trip, there was only 4 of us. We were lame. We're all moms, and the only thing we really wanted to do was eat food, sit around, not be needed, and just, relax. We did. We ate so much food. I gained all the weight I've lost back. And I'm okay with it. And we ate food, sat by the pool, and we were not needed. We went to bed when we wanted, slept in when I mean, I still woke up at 5:30 in the morning, but you know, it was nice to wake up at 5:30 and go sit outside with a cup of coffee and know that nobody was going to come out and be like, "Can I have some waffles?" It was so nice. Okay, let's do some makeup. So here's the thing with traditional makeup. I don't know which one to use. Do I want to use my Perfect 10 or do I want to use Charlotte Tilbury? Both are really great products. Maybe I should just go with whichever one matches my skin because this one does look a bit dark. Let's give it a try here. Ooh. That is a good stinking match. Let's check this one. Gosh, they're both good matches. But I think Charlotte Tilbury might be a little bit better of a match. But I wanted to show how I think traditional makeup is worn best. Finding something depending on your skin type. If you have really oily skin, those mattifying ones might be really great for you because a dewy finish can jump you to greasy quick. They can also, it'll look like chipping paint if you're dry. I don't know, if you're a face toucher, gotta keep that in mind, makeup not magic. If you are a face toucher, your makeup is gonna, and it's that drying kind, it's gonna look like chipping paint on your nose, on your chin, wherever you touch your face most, which is usually these two areas. It's gonna start chipping off, flaking off, and it's gonna look like trash. And that's not because the product is bad, that's because you're using a mattifying stay all day and you're a face toucher. It's not them, it's you. And I'm a face toucher, I know. Okay, I'm gonna use the powder brush by Saint. You want to get, do not use a natural hair brush. You want these fake hairs, synthetic, because otherwise it's gonna break off and it's gonna stick to your face, and it's also, they're gonna break down a lot faster. You don't get the most bang for your buck, but it's gonna absorb it. And you don't want to, you want the makeup to go from your bottle to your brush to your face. Okay, I don't like squirting makeup on my face. I think it's just not for me. I'm gonna put, let's just start. Okay, so we're gonna go in with Charlotte Tilbury. I'm using the shade 6 Neutral. And I just put a little half pump on. And I'm just gonna go, I always go to the sides, up onto my discoloration, and down the sides, and I do the beard. I am gonna be bringing this up and around to a lot of areas. I have dark under eyes that bug me. And so the way I can get the most bang for my concealer is I do bring the foundation up last to my under eyes, okay? And this is going to act as kind of like a corrector in a way. It doesn't fix the problem, but it does lay a color on. But I like to do less. You don't want cakey makeup. We don't want to look like a birthday cake. That does happen pretty frequently with Saint. If you have mature or maturing skin, stipple your makeup in. It gets it into all the little nooks that you get through maturity. Pores, fine lines, nose creases. I don't like to apply any direct product to this area. I will always spread it to the area. That way it doesn't cake and crack and gather. And this is a big party. I call it the party area. Everybody's gonna get in here. Everybody's gonna gather in, and it's gonna get all, it's gonna be like a little mosh pit of makeup in this area, and it's not gonna be good. It's never good. All right, so we're gonna bring this down the neck. I do find that this does have a little bit of setting in it, but it does have a dewy finish. I cannot, with my mature skin, do a matte finish. All it does is, and I'm oily, all it does is accentuate everything, and it drives me up the wazoo. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit more, and I'm gonna go across the bridge of my forehead. Now, I got some color recently, so I'm bringing this down and around my brows. I always do my brows last because I always screw them up right here, but I'm not gonna bring it up to my forehead up here. I already have a good amount of color. This shade is too light for my forehead. Your forehead is always gonna be in the summer months when you start getting color. It's gonna be the darker point typically because that's where, you get it? You get it? And so we're just gonna push this up and over, and then again under those eyes, bridging across the nose, and turning my face essentially one color, but I'm getting coverage on my stuff, okay? So then I can go in, and what I'm gonna grab into next is my balm. I prefer Saint's balm. Where is it? I've been using a lot of palettes lately. They have a new Mother's Day collection, and it is so good. It comes with eyeshadows, and then it comes with, it comes with in a palette 12. Do I have one on hand? Doubt it. Wait, okay. Here's a palette 12. This is the size of a palette 12. Really nice. Is there makeup in here? There could be. Yeah, there is. It comes in a palette 12. This size holds 6 full sizes on top and bottom, but it comes in, which palette? Where are you? Guys, I'm unorganized today. It's probably shoved in the back. Anyway, it has a it comes in this palette. It has an embossment right here. It has this little guy right here, but it's a 12, so it's not quite as big. I only have it in the 18. That's the one. Okay. So I'm going to take my balm and I'm going to prep my under eye with it. And this is going to help my concealer not get crepey, because this is a soft tissue. I don't care who you are. You don't have anything holding this up. You got your eyeball, you got your orbital, and you got your hammock. I think I hear my chickens. They don't, they're either laying eggs or something's happening up there. Okay, so we're gonna prep our under eyes with this. So this is gonna help with crepey. If you have any dry areas around your nose, you know, in your mosh pit zone, tap some balm or Aquaphor there if that's what you wanna do. Then go grab a concealer. I'm gonna use Incognito because I am gonna be wearing my makeup today and I don't want it to look like trash. And if I use Tarte or NARS, I'm gonna hate my makeup in a couple hours because it's gonna crepe, it's gonna thin, and all my darkness is gonna pull through. That doesn't happen with Incognito. And again, anti-aging. I'll put anti-aging under my eyes. I'm 44. The worst thing happened. I'm not gonna say the worst thing because there's bad things that have happened. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm not, this is gonna go dark, but we were on this bachelorette trip. It was with my sister-in-law and her friends. I am the sister-in-law, I am the husband's side of the family, and ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow. I'm also 12 years older than her. And I was older than some of the other girls, even older. We got into our Uber, and the guy said, oh, what are we here for? Bachelorette. Oh, did we bring mom? He thought I was the mom. Now, I'm 12 years older than her, so no. I'm not even old enough to be the mom, but it was a hard hit. It was a very hard, it really like hurt. It was the first time that's really happened and it hurt a lot. And he knew he messed up based off of the fact that I just did one of those. Then he told me I just carry myself with more maturity. I told him, nice try. Nice try. It stung. I didn't let it ruin the night. I'm not that person that lets things ruin the night, because in the same token, I did just have a friend of mine pass away suddenly in a car accident, and she's 2 years younger than me. Not everybody gets to be 44. And embracing our changes, and don't think we look worse because we look older. Not everybody gets to be our age. You're not guaranteed tomorrow, and it happened the day before we left for Boston. I was trying to get gas for my car, and it happened right down at the bottom of my driveway, and it like stung, but at the same time, it's just like you've got to learn to embrace. Anyways, that went so dark, and I'm so sorry, but finding the way to find a product that's going to work with changing skin. Because changing skin happens, we shouldn't be fighting it. Anyways, it was one of those things. All right, so I'm gonna take my concealer now. Anyways, there's too much in life going on right now. This is gonna be my makeup corner where everything's fine. Okay, taking Incognito shade 2. I do like it to be a touch lighter than my skin. This is less pigmentation than Saint. Saint's 80% pigmentation. I would say that this is probably 30% pigmentation, so significantly less. And so I'm going to go in, I'm going to brighten right here. That's all this is. This isn't covering anything. This is just going to be brightening. I'm going to hit my little mountain peaks here to accentuate this pretty area. I'm gonna brighten right here. And these are only to brighten. And now I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna grab a little more product on here, and we're gonna go under the eyes, and you're gonna stay, just like when I do with Saint, we're gonna stay outside of the trough here. I'm gonna come up my orbital bone. I'm gonna flick a little here, and then I'm gonna go into that inner corner. I'm very dark right here, so I'm gonna add a touch right here. And then I come into that little happy spot. Okay, this is lighter than my skin tone. There's not a lot of product on here. This is less pigmentation. Same thing over here. Get that little happy bucket going up that orbital bone. Hit this little, this is gonna give me lift. That's what that little flick right there is. I'm gonna come up and into this inner corner here, and then right there. All right, I'm gonna set this aside because I'm gonna do my nose last. But I'm gonna stay with this brush. I like staying with one brush as much as I can, but the Incognito doesn't set the same way that Tarte does. So if Tarte sits on your face a little too long, it gets really hard to spread. Incognito doesn't do that. It has much more life for movability. So I'm just gonna tap this out. I'm keeping it in its general area. I just want it to add a little lightness to these areas. Okay, so just adding that little highlight just accentuated that little Cupid's bow. Always, always, always so pretty. Okay, right here between the brows, I'm just gonna press this out over the brows and just brighten this area. That's all it's gonna do. Okay, right here, I'm gonna start down here just like I do with Saint. I'm going to keep this lightness. I'm going over some of my scarring for extra coverage, adding that lightness, giving my eye a little more lift by adding that brightness down there. This is also helping to clean up some of that mascara that gets runny down there. Okay. Going in, and look at how nice a good concealer can look, and prepping with that balm keeps with that dewiness. But Beauty Society, I'm telling you, their Perfect 10 or the Incognito concealer has a dewy finish with that. Look at how bright and pretty that looks. So, so lovely. I do use their skincare. Finding good skincare is another big game changer, but this, you just start on that soft or on that more taut area, bringing that up into that inner corner, and then bringing it down and around. Okay? Just bringing that down and around, and then bringing the last bit of that product to your under eye. It's such a pretty finish. Such a lovely finish. I haven't set with powder at all. You will want to set with powder. I'm going to show you how when you have maturing skin or mature skin. I'm going to show you how. So there's a definite line here. There's no makeup here. This is just suntan. I love suntanning. I'm going to suntan tomorrow. Anyway, using products that have, to me, if you tan really warm, I tan very warm. If I pull cool, if I put something too cool on, it ashes me out, and I don't like that. So I like to use warmer contour. So I'm going to grab, I prefer Saint, but not everybody does Saint. So I wanted to show other options today. There's some Saint in here because I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. And it is the one thing where I'm like, this hands down is what you should have with any of your makeup to give that dewy finish, to give you the maximum coverage with less product. You're going to want Saint blushes. Okay, so I'm going to use the Milk. It is a really good one. This is the color, where are you? Oh, biscuits. Stoked. It's a sculpt stick. I just think this thing is so small for $34. Just so small. Okay, we're gonna pop this, and I'm gonna let my tan be my guide. So we're gonna pop that on. Okay, I don't need it in the middle. I'll bring it there. I'm gonna put a little circle right here on this outer part of my brow, but this is a good coolish warm. This reminds me of Stone contour with Saint. All right, and then I'm gonna go not in this. If I put a shadow in my shadow, it's gonna pull my whole face down. What we've been talking about this whole time is we wanna give lift with the eyeliner, using that brightener. So we're gonna go above it, right here. I just hit my elbow. Right here, okay? And you can add a little dot right here because we're gonna make this more of a bronzer, okay? And if you'd like, you can go right here, add it, come up a touch. This is also gonna help us bridge our color to our neck, because my neck, this little area is always lighter. My head casts a shadow. I don't know if it's just big or that's just how life works out. All right, we're gonna take this, and I'm going to get a mirror because I need a mirror. We're gonna do our nose. And if you wear sunglasses in the summer, I want you to skip this area. Okay, don't apply the cream to this area. If you wear sunglasses, you're gonna go just below it, and I'm gonna go top side, to both sides here, okay? But skip where your glasses go, and then I'm gonna square it off. And that's it. Now we can leave and go grocery shopping, and everybody's gonna say, you look great today. I like combining different things at the same time, so I am gonna add a little bit of blush. I'm gonna go into my palette. Saints blushes, they have glosses, they have satins, they have a lip and cheek collection. Wish I had it thrown together, but I don't. And it is the best. A lot of the colors I have in here are in the collection, and they're so, oh, I have my computer. Is it charged? Ooh, it is. Let's talk about the lip and cheek collection. It is worth every penny. If you want a good lip color, if you want your blush colors to be good, all I'm telling you is, where are we? Makeup, lip and cheek, where are you? Lip and cheek collection. Okay, so pulling it up. The colors in this will get you through all your seasons, and they're a lot of my favorites. Okay, so this right here is your fall and spring. This is a good one. This is a summer shade too, because you just mix it with a pink, and it's so good because it gives you that bronzy look. This is Rosewood, and it is one of my favorites on the cheeks. There's Nude. Everybody loves a nude. It is a top seller for the last 2 years. I have it in here somewhere, but Nude is a really beautiful color, but it also has Sangria, which I don't have in here. I wish I had put it together. I've done it before. You can find a tutorial where I use traditional makeup with the lip and cheek collection, but a lot of these colors, Hollywood is right here. This is such a good one. Desert Sunset, that's this guy right here, is a beautiful lip color, and you can use any of these. I'm trying to think here. Black Cherry, it's like that Clinique color that everybody loves. So many good colors, and you can line your lips with your bronzer. Okay. Oh, good. So we're going to go in and we're just going to put a little bit of pink on our cheeks to mix with this. I like mixing them at the same time, and I'm going to show you how I do it, but I am going to go in with, what color is this one? I like pinks in the summer. I have Scarring, and this is why I like Saints. They are 80% pigmentation, so I'm going to go into, sorry, I was just seeing if one of my favorites is included in it. Madrid. I'm going to grab a lip. I'm going to do a couple colors. So I like Madrid because it's going to work with my scarring, so I'm going to pop that right on top of my scar here. All my acne scars, this is not going to pull it through. Pinks and things can pull it through really easily. We don't want to do that, and that's why using a blush that's also a concealer. Saints blushes, I would say satins over glosses, are going to work as a concealer. So if you have cheek discoloration, hyperpigmentation, you can use colors like Frenchie. You can use colors like Daylily. This is another really good one to help combat and work with your brighter pinks. So now I'm going to go into, Sangria is one of my favorites, but I wait till we're like in summer. It's a good deep pink, but it's also a great lip liner. But Dahlia, this one, oh, I do love this pink. So I have that dot there. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. Here and here. Using blushes that are concealers is a game changer. Okay, same brush, using that powder brush. I'm gonna start here just because I always forget. Push this up in front of your earlobe. This is just gonna give yourself a little chisel. We're gonna bring that down, and then we can blend this out. This hides that little back chin. Going right here, pushing again in front of the ear. This just cleans this area up, takes a little off, helps with lift, because again, everything goes up. And then bring this down. Now, if you're wearing a high collar, don't come down too far because it will transfer. It's makeup, not magic, but we are gonna set this area. There's a few places where I just feel like you really need to set, but you don't have to set your whole face the same. Okay, so now we're gonna go in, we're gonna start at the top, and I'm just going to, this blends easy. We're gonna push this to the mid and into the hairline, but stippling this around. It's like a stipple flick. Bringing it to the temple, understanding texture. I'm veiny in my temples. It's probably from being a mom for 24 years and always being so stressed out because you let them be right sometimes. It's the hardest thing in the world. All right, so we have the forehead done, and it adds structure, it adds balance. Milk is a really good product. There's some contours out there. I'm not gonna lie, Dibs was one of them. And what was the other one I used? Oh, this was a bad one. I'm gonna show you the one I really don't like. I really don't like the e.l.f. What's it called? Halo Glow Beauty one. I really didn't like it because I have hair follicles and pores up here, and all it did was sink in, and I had a bunch of little dots. I'm telling you, cream, you want creams. You don't want goo. Powder's gonna thicken your makeup. You want creams. Creams is gonna take, if you love those mattifying foundations, topping it with a cream, don't set it between. You're gonna wait to set to the end. Don't set it with powder until you're done. The creams are gonna give you that dimension, but it's also gonna add that really nice dew that you want with your makeup, so you don't have to go buy those illuminators. You don't have to add a balm on top. Using a dewy cream, you're not going to find a mattifying cream. If you grab a cream like the Milk, or if you love Dibs, go for it. It's just not for me. I do like the Beauty Society one also. This one is Java, and I do really like that one. The other one I had was Soul. I found it to be a little too warm, but I'm getting into summer, so I need it darker, so I got Java. But Saint is the densest cream contour you're gonna find. I have not found another cream contour that's dense the way Saint is. And if you look at them, you can see what I mean. Like that, this is a bronzer, this is a contour. Do you see how there's very little sheen to it? It's dense. This down here, these are also nice and dense. This is a lip liner. You can use it as a contour. This is Suede. This is Aspen. They look dry and they go on. They stay where you put them, but they are still creams, but they have density to hold where you put them. And I like that. So anytime you're adding on top of a traditional makeup, grab a cream contour, grab a cream blush, and it's gonna give you that dewy finish that you're looking for without adding shimmer, because sometimes shimmers can accentuate things. Skin is a texture, and some is more textured than others. And if you're putting on a shimmer, it's going to enhance the textures that are there. If you don't like your skin texture, if it bothers you, don't put a shimmer on it. Go grab a cream and do that instead. Got it? Okay, so we're gonna grab this and I'm gonna just push this up and down my nose, and I'm gonna bring it up to that sunglasses mark, okay? But just pushing this up and down, and we're doing this before we're brightening or using concealer, because we can bring these together. If you have a bumpy nose, a crooked nose, I talk about this all the time, don't worry about placement, we're just blending it out. Okay, but putting it on that direct glasses line when you wear your sunglasses or your readers or just your glasses, what happens is we have natural movement. Our face moves when we talk and we're laughing and we're like, ew, it moves. It's sweaty outside, it moves. What it's gonna do is it's gonna start rubbing and gathering, and it's gonna make its own little mosh pit up here of just clumpy makeup. And when you take your glasses off, some is on your glasses and some is on your face. But either way, there's a big clump of gathered makeup there, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. But just move the makeup there. Don't add product to that spot. Okay, now before I'm going to do the rest of my face. Okay, I almost grabbed my concealer. Anyway, squirrel. Okay, so we're going to go to the cheek. This is my favorite thing to do, is when I get to show how I blend everything together. I'm just making sure this is blended well. My husband once looked at me and he goes, "You got shit on your face." I said, "Thanks." Okay, we're gonna go to the cheek. You want a brush shaped like a foot. You want it to have that squared edge, and you want to be able to hold this at an angle like this, because we're shoving it up. We want lift. And so if we go to the side, it can push it downward. If we hold it downward, it's gonna push it downward, and everything goes up. Okay, the angle of my contour is up. So we're gonna hold this, and I'm gonna use the side of the brush. Whatever brush you want to use. This stuff blends really, really well. It's not as dense as Saint, so you do need to be careful, because you can overblend this a lot easier than with Saints. All right, so we're going on the side of that brush with an angle, and we're going to press onto that contour first. And I'm just going up and down towards that temple. And then I'm gonna go into my blush. And I'm gonna smile because as you get older, you lose volume and it's all one big piece of meat. You're gonna smile. And you're gonna see exactly where all those little angles are. And then you're gonna take the other end. This is why I like a good double-ended brush. And we're just gonna pull that down and we're gonna push that up. We're gonna pull this down. Look at how pretty that is. And I have like a nice little round cheek. Look how cute that is. Okay, so again, holding at the angle, pushing onto the contour first, because we want to blend that contour, and then going in to the blush. Blush placement, entirely up to you, how you want to wear it on your face. What I recommend people to do is don't do what I say. Go on Pinterest, go on Google, and Google different placements of contours and blushes based off of face shapes. Don't put yourself in a box of I'm an oval, I'm a heart, I'm a circle. Try each one. Just try them. It's makeup. It washes off. Try them. And then when you say, oh, I like that one, that's yours. That's the one you use. Use the one that makes you feel your best. That's makeup. Okay, going into my incognito, I'm going to sweep off a bunch and I'm going to hit the tip. And I'm going to go right up the middle of the bridge in between brows. All right, and then we just use our little phalange here. I like using my fingers the best. Brushes can push product out too far, whereas your finger just gives you a little more control. And this just straightens out your nose. So if you have a crooked nose, a bumpy nose, I have a bumpy nose. This just helps with that. Okay, I'm gonna pop on some, we're gonna set it. We're gonna set our makeup. So if you are wearing traditional makeup, I want you to think about, are you on your phone? Because this is a high touch zone. Your phone's gonna pick it up. You know how it is. You ever look at your phone and it's just caked with gross? All right. So we wanna set our cheeks for sure, okay? Your neck, if you have collars, it's gonna touch. You wanna set your neck, okay? High, and then that's it. We're just thinking about touch zones here. We touch our chin a lot, we touch our nose a lot, here, 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 and then phones, okay? So we're thinking touch zones right now. So we're gonna take a film forming spray. A lot of setting sprays are hydrating sprays, which are great. I love the Plush and Prep Mist. I feel like this is an easy spray dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip. e.l.f. has a great setting spray, but I'm oily and I need to know that when I'm using a setting spray, I want it to stay really well, okay? So there's two setting sprays I really like. This one you can get on Amazon. It's called Blue Marble. I really like this one. There's also one size. I've been really liking this. I kind of turned my nose up at this, and then I took it with me on my trip. And with that, I was like, okay, I do really like this one. And so I easily went and got this. I always say, if you're gonna try a product, try a travel size. This is the travel size. I do really like it. It is a really fine mist. This, if you're really into your hair, it's gonna work as a hairspray. It's gonna be, I have really fine hair and it was hard to run my fingers through it when I would move it back into place. I was like, oh, it's sticky. Anyway, okay, so film forming sprays, but I also really like Saints Plush and Prep. Charlotte Tilbury is another really good one. I just don't happen to have it right now. The other one I really like, there's some really good setting sprays out there that I've used, and these are the ones I stand behind. Blue Marble, this one's about $40 on Amazon. You get the Professionals. I get this in, I tried this in travel size, got the big size. I keep my travel size and then I refill it. One size is another really good one. Charlotte Tilbury, which again, I just don't have on me right now. So those are what I would recommend. I'm not sure. I'm going to use the Professionals just because I haven't used it in a while. Just because I'm always grabbing something. All right. Always shake your setting spray. And when you're spraying this, I want you to remember to get your neck because these are touch zones. We're spraying for touch zones. So get the sides of your face. Make sure you get your nose because you're going to possibly be wearing glasses. So we're going to spray. This has such a stinking fine mist. That's what I don't like about it. So I have to hold it really close, but get your face wet. Get your neck. Okay? Get it wet. Powders will always change the consistency of a product. A product. Gravy, makeup. Like, it changes the consistency. You want a fluffy brush. I'm going to use this one. I got it for free. It's from Beauty Society. It's a good shape brush, but you want kind of a fluffy brush. I like to also have a brush that hasn't dipped into other things, okay? And having a good setting powder. I'm gonna grab Laura Mercier. I do really like this one. And remember, touch zones, okay? Touch zones. So here it is, it's full from traveling. You want your lid, you're gonna put this on. Now we're gonna think about, are we dry, are we oily, where are we textured, where do we touch? Start on the perimeter of your face, okay? So I'm gonna go on my neck because I don't want transfer onto my, I want less transfer. Makeup, not magic. Still gonna transfer, but this helps, all right? And I just buff this into the lid. If you tap it down into the brush. Okay, I like to start on the perimeter of my face. Think of where you have the least amount of texture, because again, powder is always gonna change the consistency of your makeup. So if you're gonna add powder to an area where you have a lot of texture, it's going to accentuate your texture. Do you have pores? I have big pores right here. I don't want to apply powder and bake there because it's just going to stretch it out like the collar of a shirt. It's going to accentuate it. It's going to make my skin look older. Think about where your skin texture is. So I have a lot of this going on right here, so I'm not going to apply powder right here. This is a crepey area in general. I also am 44 and I have fine lines and I have wrinkles, okay? Skin is a texture. You can see all my texture here. I'm not going to come on here with a beauty filter. Skin is a texture. You can either enhance it or you can accentuate it. You just got to decide what you're going to do. And if you're going to go and bake your whole face, you're going to accentuate it. But it's makeup and it washes off and you could do better next time. So I start at my temple. That's where I have the least amount of texture. And then I'm going to bring this down onto my cheek area where my phone hits. Then I can go over my forehead and right here where I'm the most oily. But I'm not going to reapply. And then when I think my brush is empty, it's glitter, it's not, we can go into our high texture zone. So where my mosh pit is right here and right here. But using the colors like the milk cream contour and the cream saint blushes, they're going to continue to give you that dewy finish so you don't have to add shimmer on top. I'm just not a shimmer girl. I think it makes my skin look older. I prefer having a dewy finish over a shimmery finish. If I'm going to go out and live La Vida Loca, then yeah, I will go ahead and add a touch of shimmer. A touch of shimmer, like, oh, I'll hit the tip of my nose. Oh, I'll hit the Cupid's bow. I might hit the tops of there. I might put some in the inner corner, but I'm not going to go out looking like a trophy. The only trophy I am is a trophy wife. Where did this lid come from? I don't know. Okay, let's add some brows. I always say brows are important. I posted a picture. I had my husband edit out my brows. It was really great. Okay, where's the hair? There's a hair on there. Okay. So we're going to structure the brows. I like using my brows to add lift and length to my eyes. So I always come in, my brow starts here, okay, and it ends right here. Let's just pop this on to where my brow is. So this is my brow. This is not how I like my brows to look. So what I do is I come out to this tail and I extend my tail and then I blend it into my natural brow. So it has a lot more length and it gives my eye some length. And then I come a couple millimeters in from my inner corner here and I start my brow here. So I'm just going to extend that in. I prefer eyeshadow. I think you have a little more control. It's softer, it's more natural. It doesn't stick, and add a little of those little waxy little notches. And then I just use my brush to give hair flicks on the front and blend it into the rest. I use eyeshadow. I use two. I have Trust and I have Oak. Then I'm going to take my spoolie. Some people like to use a brow wax, a clear mascara, and I'm just going to bring this up and then follow it out. This is going to pick up the excess. Ta-da! Look at how much better it is to have a nice punchy big ass brow than no. Just adds. I like a good bold brow though. It's like coming with a warning label. All right, so we're gonna grab and we're gonna pull this outward and upward. We're gonna extend that tail. Once you figure out how, you can go and get stencils from Amazon to find your brow. Bringing this up and over. My lives on Mondays are always long, don't worry. I'm gonna break this down throughout the week too. I'm gonna bring in that inner corner here, fold it up. Bink, 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 bink. Extend that tail a skoosh. There we go. And then use your spoolie to just clean it up. Ta-da! I think I needed help. Let's grab our spoolie. We're just gonna use this to help even it out. There we go. There we go. Sisters, not twins. Okay. We've put it on. Now we can go ahead and we can put on a lip color. I always use my Saint stuff. I think I want to use, there's a Lip Whip. This stuff is your night cream. This is your getting you through the day. Saint just came out with this too. I like it. I'm not a gloss girl. It does go on really shiny. I'm not that girl. I'm of an age, I guess. I don't know. That's what we do. Okay, we're gonna grab my favorite lip liner. So MAC Half Red was always my favorite. They discontinued it, jerks. Now I go into Renaissance. This is super dense, you can tell. Here's a satin, and this is just dry as a bone. So it goes on and it's gonna stay really well. It's gonna work as a barrier. And I'm gonna line my lips. I'm not gonna outer line them. I'm just gonna hug the edge. And I think having a nice structured lip will give them a more full look, because just like our cheeks that go away through age, our lips also get thinner. And if you have straw lines, smoker lines, whatever they are, having a nice dense lip liner is gonna create kind of like a dam so that it doesn't bleed. All right, so then we're gonna come out here, we're gonna line the bottom. Lining the bottom. I've done those lip stains and I love them. They're not the most popular on the lives. Everybody's always feeling a certain way. Okay, so I have my lip liner. I love this color. This is Renaissance. It is so pretty, lovely. My Charlotte Tilbury, I've set with powder and it has a dewy finish. My skin has a dewy finish and I didn't bake or pack on the powder, but using creams on top of traditional makeup is going to give that youthful look you're trying to get with your favorite foundation. So whatever your favorite foundation is, switch out your contours, switch out your bronzers, and switch out your blushes to creams, okay? Now I'm gonna go into a pink. I'm gonna use Pinky. This one's my favorite out of all of their new lip tints. I'm gonna buff out my lip liner and just kind of smudge it out. And then we're gonna go into this little pink. Look at how pretty this is. Tell me that's not the scariest doggone color. Okay, we're gonna put that on and it goes on thin. You see how pretty that is? It's not so scary. It looked like it was gonna be some bold, punchy pink. It is not. I don't find that this one stains the way the other ones do, so if you don't want your pink to stain, I don't like a super bold lip, but I like my lips to show. This is so good. I love Pinky. These are currently available. They go on, they're not sticky. It feels like a lipstick, but it's a lip tint. It goes on, look at how, oh, this is a pretty color mixed with that Renaissance. And you could put this with any one of our colors. I like the way these go on. They're smooth. Oh, that's good. Look at how pretty this finishes. And this is with traditional makeup, Charlotte Tilbury. It's just fun playing with different kinds of makeup too. I like it. I like it a lot. If you ever feel like you've set with powder and you went too far and you feel like you have texture, go grab a setting spray and top it. Top it, take that brush that you set with powder and press that into those textured areas. And that moisture from the setting spray is going to help reduce the texture that the powder created. So that's something you can do. But that's my makeup. I'm gonna go fold some laundry and I'm gonna go do some gardening. But this is where you will look at it and say, okay, what needs attention? I have a hormonal breakout. It has amazing coverage, but it is a texture. You can't erase texture. Don't try to. You're just going to cake your makeup up. So if I pile more on because I can see the texture, I'm just going to enhance this pimple. You just got to let it go. You just got to let it go. But this is where you'll say, okay, what needs more attention? Where do I want to add brightener? I'm going to grab some. And I'm just going to add a little bit here. Just to add a little bit. It's a little too pink there for me. So then I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to tap out this brightener just to make it a little lighter here and help with that lift. Look at how nice that looks. Bing, bang, boom. There we go. I'm happy now. When am I happy? I don't know. Anyways, that's my Monday makeup. I will be back next Monday. We still have a few more weeks. My kids don't get out of school till June 11th. I think we're the last state to keep our kids in school. So I will be continuing my lives. They do get a little rough in the summer because the kids are always coming in and showing their faces and interrupting all the time. But we have a few little things. I will not be live Memorial Weekend, but let's do a color match. Let's have you try some makeups. Let's try some contours. I love the Incognito concealer. This is the concealer. If you're using Tarte and it's just falling short these days because maybe you're not 20 anymore, Incognito, it's got the anti-aging in it. It has a really beautiful dewy finish. I use shade 2. This is my all year color because in the winter I'm fair. I try to keep things pretty uniformed, but in the summer this adds a nice little bit of pop. But Incognito, this is the concealer that you want if you have maturing skin and you're not doing creams. This is the one you want. It's far better than the Tartes out there and the NARS ones out there. I'm telling you, try it. People can knock MLMs. Here's my thing. I like makeup. I like sharing products that are quality and are good. That's at the end. The fact that I can make a bit off of it, I mean, I'm not making millions here, but Incognito, good product. Charlotte Tilbury, equally really great product for maturing skin. I do feel like maturing skin, it's so hard to find a good foundation that works with our skin. Perfect 10 by Beauty Society, great. Charlotte Tilbury, also really great for maturing skin. If you're looking for another stick foundation that isn't greasy, I like Saint. Saint's my ride or die, but Hourglass is another really good stick foundation. This one's just too light for me now because I've gotten some color. It's a little pricey. I want to say it's $40-something, but it is a really good, I mean, talk about fun packaging, but this is just too light for me at this point. But this is a really great cream foundation if you're looking for a different one that you can just get at Ulta or Sephora. I don't know if you can get it at Ulta. Definitely Sephora because that's where I got it. But this is a great stick foundation if you're looking for another cream. I haven't tried Fenty, but Merit just was a no for me. I'm too oily and it was too greasy on me. But I love my Saint. That's going to be my first pick. But I do like playing with different kinds of makeup and finding other ones that work well. All right, Best Drugstore pink lipstick, please. Oh, Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. These are my favorite. I have a few shades and I like to mix them up. These two together. Okay, so hold on. What's this one? Loyalist paired with other colors. I swear. Oh. This is another really good. So Loyalist, I do love these. The Superstay Matte Ink. I've got sugar. Ruler. Loyalist. Dreamer. These are really good. And then you can go and you can grab something like the Lip Whip or any chapstick. I love Saints Diamonds Are Forever. This is a great Mother's Day buy. And you could it puts a little frosting on. Oh, it didn't even come off. Look at that. But it just adds a little bit of frost. Great on its own, but you could pop this on top of these. I heard e.l.f. has one now, so you could always try that. But drugstore brand right here. These are my favorite by far. All the other lipsticks are just lipsticks. These are good. Who was it? Revlon used to, I'm going to go way back to the 90s. They used to have this like long wear lipstick and it just flaked off and it was, it was awful, but I loved it because it stayed longer. but these are now my new, these remind me of that with they are very dry, but they stay really well, and they have really pretty colors. I love my pinks. I love my pinks. But if I'm going to like an event, I will pull these out and use them. Or I like on Amazon for, I don't even know, 12 bucks. You could get lip stains. I have quite a few. What do I have here? I have sugar. I cannot read. Get Ready. I have pinked. I have coraled, I have mauve, and I have nude, and these are all really good. Okay, these go, okay, I'm telling you, these lip tints by Saint go on so nice, and they stay so well, but the pinky is the one that does not stain, but it goes on so good. I love it. If you want one that stains, I tried each of them, and then I had to wipe my lips off, and my lips were so dark, I just went and put on a lip whip and for the day, and I had great lips. And then to touch up throughout the day, I use this bad boy. So there's so many good options, but Amazon, I think these are $12 or $14, and they go so well. I even contoured my lips with nude. It was really good. But these are really great on Amazon. These are really great drugstore colors, or lipsticks at Color Stay, and then you just top it with something else. I have not found good drugstore makeup. Like, I just haven't. e.l.f. has a great reputation. I just really did not like, these are the dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury's. But I just didn't love this Halo Glow. I didn't like that it sunk into my pores or my hair follicles and gave me dark dots. So I have not found anything drugstore wise as far as face makeup. If you have a suggestion, throw it in the comments. So that's it. But that's it. That's my makeup live. I think it turned out pretty dang good. But top your foundations with creams, and you'll do so much better than using your powder contours and bronzers. Okay, that's it. Have a great day.